Previously.
Can't. It's me, Jess, your best friend. The salt circle is not intact. I repeat, not intact.
Oh, what's that alarm blurring through the salt circle? Everyone stay calm. We have to protect the circle.
Darren, Berry, take the guards and try to hold the crack together.
On it. Oh, he's run off with his guards. I don't know where those guard spiders came from. They've used some kind of flame power, which is very good.
Nice. And the cat.
This is you, yeah, the cat.
I'll use my powers of wind to try and hold it together, meow.
Oh, suddenly.
I'm using my powers.
A group of robots. Intruders. They must have caused the crack.
We have to stop them.
That was very firm, Beef. Good work.
Yes.
What does Natalie Balloon Man's her husband think?
We have to do something.
Berry, you have to try and reform the circle.
I'll do my best, meow.
Oh, you're concentrating all of her power on that circle, but that wind just keeps picking up. And, oh my goodness, can you hear that battle between the robots and other people?
Sounds like they're formidable opponents.
Absolutely.
We need a new strategy.
We're not going to last much longer like this.
We're not going to last much longer like this.
There you go.
I have an idea. We can use our powers together to take down these robots.
Good idea.
I can see him nodding, and that means he agrees. Well, those robots are coming together, and they're working together. There's all kinds of punches being thrown and lobster claws that will have to all be in the animation. Just look at the picture to see what's happening here, because it's all getting a bit messy.
Yes, the picture will be clear and well made.
We need backup.
We're outnumbered.
Oh shit, Jessica Ells has been stabbed by a robot spear.
I never got to talk about my favourite Simpsons character. None of them.
Jessica Simpson.
Ah, Jessica, my best friend. No.
Niall, we have to do something.
I know.
Niall, you have eagle wings?
I didn't know I had them, but I'll use them to save our friends. We did it.
You were amazing.
I know.
Etc., etc. But the circle is still in danger.
Not on my watch.
It's working.
Keep going, Berry.
Can we hurry this up? We all have pub lunches to get to at 1.
To be continued. But for now.
Alright, who wants to say the name of the character and who wants to say the facts?
I think as the guest, Beef should be given the privilege of saying the name.
Alright, so Beef, if you say the name, and me and Zaz will tag team the facts.
Do I need to just say it once and you're going to duplicate that?
No. We're not Michael Bay.
I like it, yeah. Alright, here we go. Right. Sam.
Barflies, most heaven, along with Larry.
Sam.
Severe scoliosis.
Sam.
Wife Dodger.
Sam.
42, just like Larry.
Sam.
Sometimes fire Chief Cap.
Sam.
Shoot by Mo has appeared alive and well since.
Sam.
Morphone Baby. Miad Niga Gabi I. Heck is empty and all the devils are here. We are antiquarians, Lawrence M. Nautical and Flimsy Rosewater. Remain indoors, etc. We are the Licky Tom Dusters in the bowels of Disused Stadium, down the tunnels to the Town Hall of Lay.
Employed to put Simpsons files into a spotty archive to haphazardly document the life of Springfield's backwaters and doors.
Haunted by an outside which we can now finally acknowledge. Scripture demands.
Thanks to our cousins back over at the MFIMDB for promoting the show. We're the professionals here, and
Lawrence,
it's relatively safe from all harm.
Lawrence, please tell me you checked the circle, indoors, outdoors, at midnight, noon, or early in the morning. Are the 4 angels gathering?
The circle is currently not intact, but that's out of our hands. It's not going to put us off this anyway.
No, absolutely not.
It's time to introduce our special guest.
Yes, are we back for more beef? Is Dr. Wellington mere hours away from a pub lunch, I imagine. How's the world, Beef?
Yeah, well, Sunday, yeah, it's pub lunch day. My favourite day of the week.
PLD?
Yeah. Oh, no, PLD.
PLD.
Did you say BLD?
BLT?
Pub lunch.
Publish.
BLT, yeah. TLC, there's a few.
Exactly. TCB, exactly.
FYC. Yeah.
FYI.
TMC.
TNT.
ABC.
1, 2, 3. Now, what about, who are we talking about here, Beef? life?
So today, well, I've gone with Sam the Barfly. It might not recognisably, kind of strike a chord, but you got the two barflies in most time. You got Larry, I think the other guy is, with like the wavy hair and the lids, and then you got Sam who's like, he kind of dressed like a trucker, kind of glasses. Doesn't say much.
No,
but, yeah.
It's the healthier of the two, definitely. Yeah. He seems to love life a little bit more. I've got some facts on him that, as the song said, he's a wife dodger. I don't know what that means. He's 42. Sometimes his cap is cleaned off to reveal that it is a fire chief cap. We don't know if he is a fire chief. As we see in one of the clips, he gets shot off screen by Mo, probably, but has appeared alive and well since. And Maul is engaging in either phone sex or consensual relations by stating the word baby over the phone. What have you got to add to that, Zaz? And both of you, what's the appeal? I don't know. I just like him, but what's the appeal?
Well, I'm not sure it's appeal. It's just vague intrigue, like nobody knows anything about him really. That he's been a figure in all of our lives since the early 90s, and yet we've never thought very little to. It's a Finn Gruel when you're looking for Sam facts. You've pretty much covered all of them there. There's not much expansive literature about him on the internet, and hopefully by digging a little deeper today, we'll uncover a few gems.
Uncover the gems, I think. So if we look at the cast connections, the list we have here of things such as having multiple jobs or a special voice or glasses, which of those would you say he fits and doesn't fit?
Do you want me to take this one?
Please do.
Yeah, go for it.
As our guest.
Cast connections. Well, glasses, obviously, as we'll come to in a minute, they change slightly over the course of the series. Let's have a look. Don't think he pays much attention to that. Bringing back characters to annoy Groening. It's slightly more difficult to draw, I would hazard a guess, due to his slightly fancy attire. You know what I mean? He wears a hat, he wears a little jerkin thing, which a lot of other characters don't. So there's more work involved.
Yeah, two layers.
Detail, layers, yeah.
There's a suggestion somewhere that Groening might have liked him, or one of the two.
Oh,
don't quote me on that.
Just somewhere. Somewhere out there is a suggestion.
Well, I don't know if it's from the good wiki or the bad wiki, because one of the good wikis is fact based and the other one is fantasy based.
Yeah, the other one is a free for all. I will add that special voice, kind of, in that I think I'm just basing this on my human ears, but I think it goes from Azaria to Castellaneta to Azaria in these clips. So we have a Roswell MMG style situation going on.
I did notice that. Oh, sorry, go on. I was going to say his accent changes as well over the course of these clips. Right, we'll get to that anyway. Sorry. Yeah.
It's all in there, isn't it?
His first voice is just Azaria, basically, or like Mo. But I like that he's quantity. Yes, quantity over quality is a good sort of bookend with Leopold, in that Leopold appeared. I could find like 4 clips of Leopold across like 34 years. He's significant, whereas Sam is basically in probably like 70% of Simpsons episodes. Like his span is basically the first episode until the most recent episode. But
it's quite a span.
The information and the dialogue and the character traits are not there for a man who, like you say, has been in our lives for 34 years.
Yeah, but enough about that. What about that spider?
Oh yeah.
So he's come back now, and he's got he's in the dust. His cheek guards are red with cockroach blood. Darren, what is your secret?
And we've got the Baroness Berry the Vale of Catmos, who is the hyperintendent of counter-extremism in schools, ? Pose the extreme ? Do you work alone? Yes, meow.
Magic queer folk mice trademark. Your fuzzy king aloft in that tiny throne. The forest of the walls. Your corduroy king KV embroidered on lapel and a basket of pig eggs. And tiny cute pig ribs. Where is your kingdom? Secret?
And over there in the fourth corner is the darkness of the human automated Munch popped on a red felt chair with his dundies on his face. Who built you? For what purpose, Ham? Silence. So we already talked about what appeals or doesn't appeal to about Sam the Barfly. Drake's still sitting in the corner. He appears to be translucent and waiting for a letter. But if you had to rank Sam on a rankings of A to G, where would you put him, Beef?
C.
A C-lister? Oh, that's high. That's high.
Really? Yeah. Well,
tell me more.
No. I'll let somebody else. Let me think on that one. Yeah, well, maybe I was hasty.
It was a very rash. It was either well thought out, prepped, or rash. But let's see what Nathan, our resident Simpsons ranker, has to say.
Excuse me. I put him in F alongside Raheem and Kashmir and a few others. The only two below him now are Pinchy and Santa. But I understand in terms of consistency, I can see where C would be an option. So I'm happy to move him out of F slightly.
I mean, if Princess Kashmir's in F, there's no way he's on that level. He's D at least on that scale.
He has merchandise, but then again, everybody on our cast list currently, except for Maud Flanders, has some kind of merchandise, including Mr. Pinchy.
I would say we can all take a deep breath. I'm going to average it out and put him in as a D, because he's a strange character, as in everybody who watches The Simpsons would say, oh yeah, of course I know that chap, but I don't know what his name is or what he does other than propping up the bar at Moe's. But I think a little bit of me thinks that's maybe what he would want, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's a no-man, which is why I kind of like him. He's not an everyman, he's a no-man.
Very good.
What was I going to just say then about Sam the Barfly? Oh yeah, is he our first part of a duo in terms of you get Sam and Larry together? Most of the time you don't know which one's which in the same kind of like Lenny White, Carl Black.
Well, I made that mistake, but yeah, I think he might be. He might be a duo. There's not enough to put duo on the list of things, but
no, I think he's our first.
He does have a dog, apparently. It's seen in Bart's dog gets an F, and he's seen in a flashback the roller disco. This is all wiki stuff, so take it with a pinch of salt. And Sam has died in the episode Flanders' Ladder and turned into a ghost when they gave him lacquer instead of liqueur. But that's got to be a Treehouse of Horror, surely.
Trust me, you can probably guess from the title of the episode, but Flanders' Ladder is something we will be spending a lot more time with in the future. Our cousins. He's a customer at La Maison Derrière, the brothel. So he likes visiting ladies of the night. For what purpose, we don't know. And it's implied that he may have been a recovering alcoholic, as he was in the rehabilitation centre with Disco Stew, Krusty, and the Sea Captain. No, there's a bongo.
There's a bongo and a half. Oh, is that a bongo episode?
No, it must be. It will be now.
Very good.
And you have it that he's voiced by Harry Shearer.
And Azaria. From both. These are from the two different competing wikis. One's both called Simpsons Wiki. Interestingly confusing. It claims on one of them that his name is Herbert Dinkleton, and that he works at Target.
So you can just
country of birth, Alabama.
No,
country of birth.
I can see him shaking his head, Beef. Come on,
where do you got this?
There's two wikis. There's two wikis. One's called Simpsons Wiki, and the other one's the other one called. But one of them's full of lies, and it's really a Wild West.
Simpsons Wiki is the good one. Simpsons Fandom Wiki is the bad one, I think. This is fandom, yeah. I remember going on like early in the mod days, and there was like a slew of information about it that we just found out that was just made up. So we just remade up our own. Like it had what did it say? Mum was called like
several names.
Yeah, like Cleo.
But Beef, come on, what do you make of these false facts?
Well, he's not from Alabama. First, I've been listening to a few clips. He has a slight New York twang early on. That goes out the window. There's one where he sounds like he's from California. Then he goes back to his twang again. Alabama, though, no, that's like a drawl, isn't it? That's a country drawl.
Deep south, yeah.
The way off there. I had him also talking about his career. Maybe the way he dresses, it's reminiscent of the way my grandfather used to dress as an ex-truck driver. He had a lot. You go around his house, he'd have a lot of like freebies, promotional freebies from haulage companies, like notepads, branded notepads and caps with labels on, like the one Sam wears. And a jerkin as well. They all wear these jerkins, like. So I'd say ex-truck driver for
ex-truck driver. There's a story there, surely, because he's not that old. He's 42. He's an ex-truck driver.
No, he's not. He's in his like early 60s, isn't he? 42. I'm older than 42. There's no way.
Both wikis says 42.
I would put him around 52. But
what's that based on? If both wikis override you, one wiki.
He's He's got grey
Just
hair, though.
looking, yeah, I'm just looking at
I've seen 42-year-old men with grey hair, especially ex-truckers.
this. Is not the figure of a 42-year-old man.
No way.
Maybe though. But I would like to hear Beef paint a picture in the way that he did with Leopold of the life of Sam that we don't get to see.
Well,
What's his
one of
home life?
the giveaways, probably a key part of the puzzle was, the bit where Marge is interestingly walking through a shopping centre, and you get Sam on the phone in the background going like, "Hey, baby."
Yeah.
I think we've touched upon it. It's it's just a real glimpse into the inner workings of the man, because it's probably one of the only times you see him outside of the bar interacting with someone else. And it brought to mind, you talked about how he likes visiting the brothel. I used to, a long time ago, I had a bar job. This guy used to come in.
Where's this going to be?
So it's interesting. Interesting, because it was a world I was unfamiliar with. But he talked Sunday morning. He'd come in and talk openly about how he'd just been to see a prostitute, and he had some interesting stories. But he told me all about the world of contact magazines in the late 80s and early 90s, where you'd ring up and you'd have to talk to them first to set a price, and then you'd go and do your business. So that's probably what he's up to. Do you think?
It seems like it.
That's a good call, though. I think that's likely. And he was kind of negotiating down a bit. He said, "Can you pass me on to your supervisor?"
But doing it on a payphone in a shopping centre is a bold move, isn't it?
It's bold, but I kind of think that Sam's the kind of man we're starting to see with his Sacagawea dollars. He seems like he's straight laced, but there's something going on that's just a little bit off with Sam.
Yeah,
I would say there's a quiet boldness to him. The tapped out stuff, which again I don't know if we can count this properly, but that sets him up as a bit of a go-getter. So just because they basically have to, anytime they introduce a character, they have to give him a story.
The tapped out, they seem to be putting together some sort of dodgy business plan, which again, intriguing, but tapped out being what it is, doesn't go anywhere, doesn't make any sense.
It's like some sort of pyramid scheme. He's trying to push it to one of his mates. Yeah.
It's
unclear.
But there's a reference that possibly the barflies are expecting me, says Homie, Larry, Barney, and the guy who calls me Bill. So is this to suggest that Sam doesn't seem to know who Homer is at any of these points through, and they don't acknowledge each other as friends at any point in any of these clips? So it does make sense that he would think he's, but like that hilarious thing where Rodney on Only Fools and Horses, soon to be on Frasier. So Rodney always gets called Dave by Trigger, doesn't he?
Oh yes, chandelier right through the bar.
Right through the bar, chandelier.
Dressing up as Batman as well. That was a good one.
Right.
That's UK Gold's top 3 moments right there.
That's right. 1, 2, and 3.
Once a month.
Oh, you blonkers. So shall we move on to clip 1?
Yes.
Clip 1. Homer's Odyssey, Season 1, Episode 3. Homer's in the bar with more great old style animation going on here. And he goes, "I'm a little low on funds. Can you cover me just this once?" Moe says, "No." And Homer says, "Why not? I think after all these years, I deserve an explanation." Now, Moe says, "I don't think you're ever going to get another job." And Homie turns away, believing this. "Don't worry, we're still friends," says Moe uncharacteristically as Homer walks through the swinging doors of the saloon. It says, "Must be 21 on the wall." I see. It really is Moe checking that stuff back in those days. We see 3 figures: an off-color Barney wearing a khaki blouse, a round glasses barfly, database uncle. I say at this point, I don't know which.
Not knowing you're talking about the focal character of the podcast.
Exactly, in a green Lennon hat, and sad-eyed Sam with a comb over and the big eyes under it and the red shirt. Somebody stop me. Barney is hugging his drink, and Database's uncle has a glass of what looks like milk. Sam, who's really Larry, has no drink, sits at the bar sadly looking at the wall. Is everyone okay with this, I say? Drinking a little tumbler of clear liquid, looking sad but tired and slouching a little.
That is what Larry looks like in that clip.
That is what Larry looks like. But Beef, tell us about clip 1.
Well, it's a first introduction to Sam, isn't it? He's sat next to his pal at the bar where he's most comfortable. Interestingly, the thing that jumped out immediately is that the thickness on those rims, which is, I was thinking, where were I seeing those glasses before? Remember Dennis Norden used to do "It'll Be All Right on the Night"?
Yes, exactly. He did the
Yeah.
wiggle, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Walk
did.
and wiggle.
Yeah,
the
so he's
Coronation Street guy who sold windows.
Yeah, that's
Reg
why I said
Oldsworth. Oh, yeah.
database
Buy one,
uncle.
you get
That's
one
why I
free.
called him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Saw him in Elizabeth Mill Furnishings once.
Excellent.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
he selling windows?
No, bedding.
Oh,
What?
moving down in the world. Database was in a season 1 clip as well. I think Sam Cashmere, Database, Todd, and Moleman are our season 1 people. And Database has the similar like thick glasses, and I kind of prefer that look. I think they should have stuck with that because he kept it up with Millhouse and Kirk and Luan, but everybody else's glasses became sort of like just thinner, a different style. Everybody got new glasses around season 3, maybe earlier. But it is also, I noticed that there was real music playing in this scene, which is weird.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. It wasn't the Moes we came to know and love. One thing I like about these clips is we do get to see the evolution of Moes through them.
And Mo, this is more of a Mo cast than anything. But
Very much.
Mo, I think Mo has most of the dialogue in all of this.
Beef, anything more on that first one?
No, the glasses really dominated my thoughts as far as this clip goes. I can see why they changed him though. It kind of makes him look a bit more bookish. Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, the Super Friends kid. Yeah, it's kind of. So I can see why they tweak that. I've no problems with that myself. So.
No, the kind of they had a chance to make him the bar philosopher almost. He could have been the bloke that knows a bit, right? He could have been, but they haven't explored that avenue yet.
I also wonder where the name Sam came from, to be honest, because he's never, as far as I'm aware, he's never like named in The Simpsons by anybody.
So the Three Stooges, right, is Larry, Moe, and Curly, right? Not Sam. So you would have thought, but maybe because they had a Kearney or whatever. But so you would have thought they would have gone with the Three Stooges and the slapdash comedy that the three of them could have come up with, but no, this is another path not taken. I asked Chatbot to give me to tell me what Sam was thinking. Obviously, I meant Larry at this point, but
as I sit at the bar staring at the wall, I can't help but feel a sense of disappointment and sadness wash over me. I'd come to Moe's, a place where I'd spent many nights hoping to forget my troubles and have a good time with my friends. As now I look around, things have changed. My friends, Homie and Database Uncle, are caught in their own conversation. They do not seem to notice me. I can't help but think about how I asked Homie for a favour a while back, just a small drink, but he has not money either. I've been a loyal customer for years, and it hurt to be turned down like that. I can't help but think of my current situation. I'm out of a job, running low on money with no prospects for the future. I feel like a failure. I've let everyone down. I can't help but think about getting a job. I feel uncertain about my chances. It's not going to be easy. I've been looking for a job for a while, but nothing seems to work. I'm worried about my financial situation. I'm at a loss of what to do. I feel like I've hit rock bottom. I wish I could just disappear into the wall and forget all my troubles.
Do you think that's an accurate representation of what Sam was thinking?
Yeah. Wow.
Chatbot's great, by the way. This first clip specifically, I think they all look the saddest out of all the clips. This is the most like real looking. This is sort of like, this is how it's going to look in the pub in about 2 hours when you're eating your lunch beef. There's going to be a Sam and a Larry sat at the bar looking into the middle distance thinking about getting a job.
Let's move on to probably his happiest clip then, I would argue, which is clip 2, season 3, episode 14, Lisa the Greek. I realize at this point I'm looking at the wrong barfly. I've been looking at Larry, but anyway, it's Moe's there watching a game on the TV. Homer, Barney, Larry, and Sam with 6 other punters. Classic, I say. Simpson is concerned. Sam looks quite happy. Oh, it's way too short for Buffalo. It's going to start in an extreme field position, says a Brockman voice on the TV. Sad Homer with Sam at his shoulder. No beer for Homer, but then he does have a beer. And there's a tiny tumbler in front of Barney. I wonder what these drinks are. Like the last one we didn't talk about, Sam just had what looked like a glass of milk or some hard liquor, like vodka in there. But a full pint of ale for Sam. Every other time I see him drinking a beer. Buffaloes are going to win and Lisa hates me, Homer slumps to the bar. Sam is the only one peeking at Homer. Nobody else is interested. Sam speaks. He says, what you got riding on this game? Homer says, my daughter. Sam whistles. raises his pint in a gruff voice. What a gambler, he says. He is not downbeat.
Beautiful. I will throw in the now that there's not really it's sort of a miracle anytime Sam speaks, because he's speaking here because they haven't developed Lenny and Carl yet, I think. But there's never really a reason to give Sam or Larry a line, because you've got Lenny, Carl, Barney, and Mo in like the pecking order before him, especially now with like established characters. But this, if they hadn't have developed Lenny and Carl, this could have been the start of the Sam and Larry being the Lenny and Carl. Larry White, Sam Database Uncle.
Very good, Beef. What do you make of this series of revelations?
Yeah, nice little interaction. I enjoyed this one actually. As you see, Sam, vast difference from the first clip, because he's looking up at the telly. He's got, I presume he's got some money in the game. Buffalo are leading, which presumably he's backed because he looks upbeat, and he has got a slight New York twangs. Potentially, he himself might be from Buffalo.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the nice clean whistle as well. Would you say?
Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful. This is a man who knows how to whistle. He wasn't put off by the game or by Homer's dejection.
He respects gamblers.
He respects gamblers who go for it. He looks like he was shocked a little bit. He didn't think a man would bet their own child on a football game, but when he realized what was happening, he was like, kudos, which shows me that a little bit unhinged is Sam, rather than just laughing or asking for clarification. I'm sorry, what do you mean? You mean that she'll be upset with you, or that you actually will lose your child to the betting shop? How would that work? Would she have to live in the office?
He's kind of shocked and impressed by it, which could be a telling sign for us. As Beef has just said, he might have been a former truck driver. There's every chance that he gambled away his truck, and he has not learned his lesson. He is still impressed by big swing gambles like your child.
Surely, come on. Maybe did he see a little bit of a tinge of regret in his eyes when he said it, though? That maybe he's bet a child or two along the way on games.
I don't think he's ever sired a child, personally.
You don't think so?
No. Oh well, no, I don't. Not
knowingly.
So, no. Yeah, I mean, he's sexually active. I mean, I think we've established that. But I mean, does he wear no ring? Right?
No ring. I don't think.
No. It seems like I was going to think it's more to do financially and his job prospects rather than the fact that he doesn't speak to his children anymore. He's more concerned with that. No, I mean, it's just a theory. I'm just spitballing, but that's the sort of energy I get from him. Yeah, not dad energy.
Not dad energy. No. A man who for whom life has never been sucked from his bones.
He is childless. I repeat.
Exactly. And is he supported by his wife then, or is he on the dole or something? Or
I don't know. Don't you get truck driver pensions?
I don't think you get a truck driver pension at 42.
Do you know? He's not 40. He's got like 42. Come on.
He's not 70 either, is he, Beef?
No, 52. What? I mean, he's probably inherited a property or something, He probably just, draws a rent from that, maybe. I don't know. He seems to be into pyramid schemes. He's got a bit of cash.
He's got something going on, hasn't he? He's got something going on like he's not dishevelled, and he
can afford prostitutes.
He can afford them. We don't know what level, though. He might be on a $5 and he might be a pretty woman. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get to see an evening with Sam.
I do agree with all of Beef's conjecturing, though. I think he might be a childless, sort of marriedless man. Maybe he's sitting on some money where he's comfortable enough to not worry about being at Moore's all the time.
I think his house is very messy.
Don't tell anybody how I live.
A little bit. Should we move on to clip 3?
Yes, great episode.
Clip 3, season 8, episode 09, El Viaje Misterioso de Nuestro Yome, which I have incorrectly translated as the mysterious village of New Homer. So Homer walks into regular door Moe's now with pendants and fan and cigarette machine, fancy, and that kind of diamond thing which is now the window. Hey Barney, soulmate, says Homer, let me buy you a beer. Lenny and Carl playing pool in the background. Okay, but I'm not your soulmate. Hibbert is at the bar, but where's Sam, I ask? I'm more of a chum. What about you, Lenny? I'm more of a chum. Carl, acquaintance, cut to Larry and Sam. Bag-eyed Larry, commie sympathizer. he says. Sam turns and smiles. Compadre, he says in a very Mexican accent, but I think that might have been B-Man and Bumblebee Man, and something's going on with the voices here. What are you doing, Sam? What are you saying? I say. Why must you be drowned out by these equally minor characters such as B-Man, Kearney, and Hibbert, Compadre, etc.? Sam is a hoppy chapper, I've said. I think that means happy chap.
Yeah. I mean, can I just say, when it went around the room, was it not Sam who says sympathizer?
I think so.
Is that right? But you read that as commie sympathizer, communist.
No, I think Larry said comrade.
Right.
And then I think Sam said sympathizer.
Yeah.
But my clip, it was all the voices were out of sync, so I couldn't really work out where Bumblebee Man, where Sam started. Sam ended and Bumblebee Man started.
So sympathize. I mean, would you describe yourself as anyone's sympathizer? That's an interesting choice of words, isn't it?
It's a weird choice of words. I mean, chum, sure. Comrade, maybe sympathizer. Does Sam sympathize with Homer's plight? I don't think he could empathize with him being an unmarried former trucker, whereas Homer is a downtrodden family man.
Yeah, worlds apart. Yeah, because most of Homer's problems stem from the bosom of the family, wife, kids, Patty and Selma. Yeah, Sam has none of those tranquilments. He just So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, could he offer any advice to assist with any of those problems? I don't think he could.
No, but sympathizer doesn't suggest that maybe he's going to help him. He just can't. Okay, in deepest sympathy, he's just. But I'm just going to sit here and watch you continue to struggle.
Maybe he likes to live vicariously through Homer. He views Homer's family in some way his.
Maybe I think if you go to his house, maybe he has like clippings all over the wall of the Simpsons family. It's all a bit, it's all a bit of that meme or a serial killer, right? But I don't think so. Probably he just has a couple of pictures of when they've been in the bar and the Simpsons family's been there. He just looks at it from time to time and thinks, what could have been.
Yes, pictures of other people's children on the walls. A sympathizer apparently means, according to Google, a sympathizer can be a person who agrees with or supports a sentiment, opinion, or ideology, aka a Nazi sympathizer. Not implying that that's Sam's sympathizer route, but does it specifically or explicitly say that it means that he sympathizes with Homer? It's that he just understands his ideologies, which kind of makes sense because they both have a similar passion in life, which is sitting in a dark bar in silence. Except for Homer. Homer usually speaks more because it's the Simpsons, it's not the barflies.
I know the barflies are somewhat generic, this idea, but they've nailed them very well. I mean, Shane, I don't know if you're old enough. Beef, sorry. I don't know why I'm losing my mind there. We did have someone on a few episodes called that name, but
it's because you were making a beef stew.
Exactly. I get it. If you ever frequented the Tudor House pub in Wigan of an afternoon, maybe some point in the late 90s, early noughties, mid noughties, and the barflies, they'd look, you could have picked them out of the Tudor House and dropped them straight into Moss. There was a range of them, a range of afternoon drinkers, some more barflyish than others. And if you engage those chaps in conversation, it was a wide range from the pub philosopher all the way down to the man that will be going to jail soon. But where do you see these two fitting into that?
They'd slot right in, the archetypal drunks, aren't they? You've got, the other guy. See, Sam seems to hold it together pretty well. The other guy's just always gone, isn't he? Like he's got droopy eyes and his hair's all over the place. Like
I thought that, but then we get the clip a little bit later where he interacts with the Duffman travesty. But everyone has a bad day, don't they?
He's gone too far that day. Yeah,
I can see him as an in and out of prison kind of guy.
That's controversial.
Earlier in his younger days,
in his truck driver days,
he's traversed the Springfield County floors a couple of times. Maybe also Larry, but he's drinking because he's bored, is what I would say. He has not. That's his sort of chosen hobby now. He's sort of done with careers and relationships. So I don't think it's a sad story. I think Sam is happy within himself, but it's a sad on paper story for Sam.
So Days of Wine and Roses style story of a gradual descent into a formless middle age, in which one day we'll come across Sam and he'll say, "Yeah, I just stopped going one day. I never went into Moe's again after that afternoon. We find him in the park, having a smoke, watching the ducks." He says, Sam, what do you do with yourself these days? Oh, I keep myself busy. Do you ever see Larry? No. How's the dog? Oh, he died. Therefore, so season 12, episode 11, worst episode, etc. Homer and comic book guy are walking towards Moe's, and this is the finest place in the rum district, he says, which I don't quite get. Open the door. Moe has a shotgun in the face of a very distressed Sam. Sam is looking down, making no eye contact. Moe, get out and take your Sacagawea dollars with you. I'll give you to the count of 3. The Sacagawea dollar, as I later found out, was a dollar coin. Dollar coins not popular in the United States. They like the note. Featuring Sacagawea, the Native American lady who assisted Lewis and Clark on their expedition. It's smaller than a quarter in gold, but it was mistaken. This, according to Chatbot, it was mistaken for a quarter often, which is why a lot of businesses don't like to accept it. They don't accept it as a form of payment, and most people keep it now just as a souvenir. Sam,
good to know.
Sam, let's look at Sam's outfit, I say, but I'll come back to that bit next. But basically, yes, Sam's in a lot of trouble here. What's going on, Rafe?
I didn't know that about the Julia dollars. I thought, what's that? Yeah, but so they are legal tender, though.
Yes, it's the Sacagawea, and a couple of others along the way. They occasionally try and launch the maybe $2 well, but the $1 coin, and it never sticks. They're those Yanks. They love their notes.
And he's carrying them in a sack. That's interesting, I thought. But do we see the sack?
I don't think we see the sack. Not in this clip.
So maybe it's like a little pouch that he's got, a coin pouch. Yeah. I mean, my granddad carried a coin pouch. So again, there's similarities there between the two of them. Maybe it's a trucker thing.
Maybe it's a trucker thing.
Yeah. No. Well, this is the one where Moe pulls a gun on him. A gun on him, doesn't he? And he
shotgun in his face, right in the face of his good friend and loyal customer. This is season 12. He's been frequenting for a good decade at least.
At least.
And his only crime is passing legal tender.
It's like a Scottish pound note, isn't it? It gets you on the radar, and then maybe Moe was already irked at some kind of failed pander smuggling business, and the last thing he needs is one of his cronies with a bag full of semi-illegal tender. It's like, there's no note. I'll give you to the count of 3, he says, and he goes 1 and then shoots him. And off screen, but we hear no noise. We don't hear a body fall to the floor.
That is incorrect.
Oh, do we? Tell me more of this noise.
Within the clip, you hear a body fall to the floor.
Could be an unrelated
Is that
incident.
Right? Did you hear Sam drop to the floor as well? Or am I?
No. I'll be honest. I thought that was the sound of feet running away. Sam's, I didn't take it as a body hitting the floor, but I'd have to go back and revisit that. But then that would suggest that he's dead.
Yeah, I feel like I heard a body hit the floor, and this is where he becomes another Cascas connection, like dead and then not dead.
Well, you can be shot. It's a shotgun, so who knows what it was loaded with? Buckshot.
Close range shotgun to the torso is probably going to do him in.
He could have been almost out the door sprightly. You can move quick, and maybe he got him in his arse, like in Comedy Gold, and all he's got is a little bit of a tattoo on those buttocks.
And he fell through the bar into a chandelier.
Well, I asked Chatbot, what he was thinking after that. And he says, this is what Chatbot, he somehow got hold of his diary, which is good. He says,
I lay in the hospital bed hooked up to machines. The reality of what happened in Moe's sunk in. The pain in my chest is unbearable, and I can't think about how my life will never be the same. I was just trying to pay for a drink with a Sacagawea dollar, and now I'm fighting for my life. I can't believe that Moe, someone who I considered a friend, could shoot me without hesitation. I felt with regret, thinking about how I should have stood up for myself and not let Moe bully me. Now it's too late, and I'm left with the consequences of my actions. I can see my family and friends around me, their faces filled with tears and worry. I want to tell them I'm sorry, that I wish I could go back and change what happened, but I can't even speak. I'm filled with a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, despair, knowing my life will never be the same. I thought Moe's was my sanctuary, the one place where I felt safe in my life, but now that has been taken away, and I am filled with a deep longing for the life I once have, taken away from me because of a stupid coin. I hope that one day I will find some closure, but for now I am left to suffer the emotional and physical pain.
So that these actions are not without their ramifications.
And it's possible he spent seasons off screen recovering. I don't know what the time frame is like for Sam's appearances. He might be our saddest character yet, though. A moment of silence for Sam.
Cool. That's somber stuff from Chatbot. I've got to say, it's really puts things into perspective. A very sad character. But then, there's two sides to every coin.
You think Chatbot really nailed
two sides to every Julia dollar.
Do you think Chatbot nailed this?
Yes.
Yes, fully, 100%. Let's talk his outfit. We mentioned it earlier. He's got the greenish, it's that army style baseball-ish cap, like a John Lennon style. A green one, sometimes bright, sometimes dark. So he's got more than one, or maybe it was bleached in a way. It's got a red spot on the front that we don't know what it says in most cases. He's got glasses, sometimes rimmed, sometimes no. Pink polo shirt in his early days, long sleeved, rolled up, and a waistcoat and blue jeans. And the waistcoat is sometimes a cardigan, but he likes the rolled up sleeves.
Yeah, I fully agree with the truck. I hadn't thought of the trucker thing before Beef brought it up, but I fully support that notion that he.
I don't know if you've ever seen the film Breakdown with Kurt Russell, where he runs into a gang of like evil truckers. Well, the villain. Let me see if I can show you this picture. It's uncanny, really. This is the lead trucker. Look at that guy. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you got glasses. Yeah. That's basically a live action Sam, innit? Look.
Yeah.
What's that film again?
Breakdown.
Because I've seen Roadhouse and
this is way after that. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg one, which is about that mystery truck that just chases that guy all over the place, and you never know why. Jewel.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Imagine Sam might be driving that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But in terms of the outfit, rolled up sleeves. Well, that's a trucker's thing, innit? You know what I mean? They like to get the sun on their arms. You say there's some fire warden on his hat, is it? Something to do with fire service? Or is
in
that
a couple.
Right.
There's truckers. So truckers, sometimes they get trucker's arm. What you've described there of the rolled up sleeve, they put their arm out and they have a high level of skin cancer.
It's a badge of honour for them, though. They like to get a nice deep brown, and then they all compare arms.
They do compare arms. But have you seen the fella who he was driving for 28 years, not without stopping.
Consistent.
He had a rest. But this is what happened to his face.
Those are knackers.
Is that's what happens when the sun hits one side of your face for 28 years?
Trucker accumulates skin damage after 28 years on the road. So, I mean...
Wow.
You say that, he could just be one of those lizard people that you hear about.
Well, listen, this fella's nearly 70, unlike Sam, who's in his early 40s. So, I mean, he probably got out of the game early enough for it not to be an issue. Mauline's on the bar. Hey, Homer, who's the manatee? He says, guessing we're digging a comic book guy. It doesn't break a sweat after shooting one of his best customers. Clip 5, season 24 is skimming forward another 12 years before we get another good look at Sam. Anarchy waits around this is a great line. Anarchy waits around every corner like a racially diverse street gang on a network cop show. That's good. Well done.
That's good writing.
Dartboard now pan to another person, probably a celebrity with a whiskey glass, and he says, "My friend, that explains WROL." And I say, "What, world record of life?" Pantamo, good camera movement, I say as well. This is, you can see the quality of the animation has changed. It's lost its charm maybe, but it is improved in technical ways. Hey pal, read the sign. No acronyms. NA, I think to myself. That goes for the rest of you too, Pan, to Carl, Lenny, Sam, love tester machine. Sam's now got more of a grey cardigan than a waistcoat, and I wonder, this is the thing I think that Beef would be interesting. What's the material? It doesn't look like wool. Is it a polyester? Maybe something. They all have beards. No, Larry's not there. I'm waiting for the gag. one does not come. Sam, here's the gag. Yeah, he does. Sam says, okay. Mo loads his shotgun again and says, hey, in this bar we say all Kinderhook. And then I looked up, apparently the initials OK are an acronym published in 1839 by the Boston Morning Post, meant as an abbreviation for oil correct, a popular slang misspelling of the term all correct, which is now common. We use OK every day without thanking those Bostonians. What about that? What about that, Beef?
Yeah, food for thought. Again, like you say, kind of the animation, clinical, clean, not the softer lines of earlier series. But yeah, this is where, like you say, they've made some changes to Sam here. The grey, you would say cardigan or jerkin. I mean, is that to suggest that he's aging? People tend to move to, like M&S style woolen cardigans and that as they get older.
Wrap up a bit more, right? They wrap up a bit. They're not. They don't.
They do, yeah. They feel the cold more, yeah. So I don't know. It could be that.
No bravery in going out in short sleeves. Not brave about
I can't. More likely to be polyester than wool, though. I'd say. I can't see him. Can't see him in wool so much. And again, his accent changes here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is Castellaneta.
Castellaneta has a go. So we got that. Surely that is a first. That Shearer, Azaria, and Castellaneta have all had a pop.
Possibly. I know the kids, all the background kids, get thrown around a lot between the sort of the ladies who do most of the voices, like basically everybody but Maggie Roswell. So they change, but they don't really do it with adults a lot. They did it earlier on a lot. Like Lenny and Carl's voices are wrong a couple of times, and Ralph has like Nelson's voice. But at this point, they've usually sort of sealed down who does what voices. So the fact that they just letting anybody have a go says that Sam's lines are few and far between enough that even listening to them in sequence, you can't really tell it's not the same voice.
So they have kind of fact files and way to draw people. Like, do you think they have that kind of thing for Sam? Do you think they go to that depth?
Yeah, I think they've got probably models of everybody who is crowd character upwards, especially now, where they can just sort of smash them in at ease without having to draw them properly. But it is clinical. There's less love in the animation, even though it is swifter. And that's Tom Waits.
Natch. What does WWFTC stand for then? Or whatever nonsense he says.
Can't remember, but he's like a prepper, like a doomsday prepper.
Like a fluffer?
Yes. So
Doomsday fluffer. Doomsday fluffer.
Yeah. Something to do with the apocalypse, probably.
Tom Waits,
Nothing to do with Sam,
that doesn't sound like Tom Waits at all. Are you sure?
Yes, I just Googled it because I had Tom Petty in my head. And I thought, isn't he long dead?
No, he's not long dead.
Is he dead, though?
He's dead now, but he wasn't in season 24.
I see.
Anyway, we digress. Anything else to add on the okie dokie?
I would like to just briefly add that it's weird that Sam got the line out of that again, like Lenny, Carl, Homer, and Sam are all there, and they gave it to Sam. I think it's probably just to do the shotgun. It's less threatening. So. If Mo aims a shotgun at Lenny, Carl, or Homer, you kind of feel it a bit more.
We don't sympathise with him in the way he sympathises with the rest of them. Yeah, I think it would have been a good running gag had he pulled the shotgun on Sam at the drop of a hat. That would have been fun. But again, roads not travelled. Clip 6, season 26, episode 17, Waiting for Duffman. This is it. This is Sam's lowest moment that we see. Homer is nursing a frosty beer at the bar, sadder than ever. Sam is slumped asleep at the bar with an almost empty beer. I couldn't tell or remember if it was day or night. We've never seen him like this. I asked, is Sam a veteran? I got a very strong kind of like that hat as well, and that get-up is very 4th of July, one of the 4th of July kind of vibe. Well, I know. I gloomed it up a little bit while you were away, says Mo, and he sprays some kind of paint on the window with some light getting through here. Nothing to see here, sunshine, says Mo. Homer sighs, and this rouses Sam. He's slurring. Hey, didn't you used to be Duffman? He's slurring and pointing. And I think like he doesn't recognize Homer. Like he knows Homer. He passes out, hits the bar with his head. What is going on here? I say as Homer grins and says, "I finally made it." Beef.
Sad to see, really. But the descent of man. I mean, is this the last time we see Sam? In terms of the current Simpsons run, these are done chronologically. I assume.
There's more.
This is the-
There's more Sam though, isn't there, Nathan? You just chose this as the last clip.
Yeah, this is the last. As far as I can tell, this is the last time Sam has done anything. But he is. I think he's as frequent as like the last 2 or 3 episodes in terms of. This is season 26, so this was like 8 years ago.
You would tell me though they've changed Barney Gumble from being like comedy drunk because they don't like to depict alcoholism in that way anymore. So do you think this is them trying to show the dark side of alcoholism? The consequences and the side effects.
Possibly. I think at this point Barney was back to being a boozer, but I think it makes the most sense for either Sam or it wouldn't make any sense if this was Lenny, Carl, or Barney because they definitively know Homer. But as far as we know, he could to Sam, Homer's just another guy in town. He doesn't really, outside of Moe's Tavern, he might not know about any of the shenanigans really until he's part of a crowd scene. And then
why do you think they've gone with Sam rather than Larry for this scene? Because he is the more kind of boozy of the two, is he not?
Yeah, I think Sam might be more vocal. I feel like I don't know if this is just because I've got clips for Sam as opposed to Larry, but I can't think of a single time Larry's spoken at all, whereas Sam's got at least 4 or 5 goes over 34 years. So maybe just because Sam was one who they already had a voice for, maybe, or maybe they just flipped a coin, a Sacagawea coin.
Yeah.
It would have been somewhat funny if it had been Boozy Barney who'd walk up and said that. But yeah,
it would have been funnier, but less logical. But that I don't know why that was the logic hill they chose to die on, as opposed to the thousands of others that they ignore.
But here's the thing, Beef. You're a man of continuity and logic, and obviously the Santa cast irked you massively on those fronts. But so far tonight, so far so good. There seems to be a consistent through line in the character of Sam.
None of the actions that we've seen Sam undertake in any of these clips make you think Sam would never do that. Do you know what I mean? Sam would never react in that way. They keep the outfit, because apart from the glasses early on, but the only sort of little twinge is where his accent goes from sort of northeastern to west coast back to northeastern again. So I don't know, but I'll let that slide.
I think there's
maybe that's why
he's a drifter.
Sorry,
maybe he's a drifter. Maybe that outfit, that truck driver outfit. Maybe he went from town to town and he spent time on the East Coast, the West Coast, down in Sweet Home Alabama, and he's that kind of guy that picks up the accent.
A social chameleon. Yeah.
Unconvinced. Beef remains unconvinced. Yeah. Never himself. Always a mirror to the society around him.
What I do like it, Sam's design is still he was designed as an American everyman in 1990, an American sort of like you say, trucker sort of worker, and that sort of, you can still look at Sam now and see what kind of person he represents, whereas there's some sort of maybe 90s stereotypes they could have had Sam be that have phased out now. You can still sort of see what character Sam is, whereas some of the characters they've had to stop Azaria from doing and just phase out completely.
Timeless, isn't he? He's a timeless character, and
they actually tricked Azaria into doing this voice by telling him Sam was actually an Indian man doing an American accent. That's how they got him on board.
Goodness gracious me, he said. Let's move on to Tapped Out.
Yes, indeed.
Slim Pickens.
Indeed. But certainly surprising in terms of the merchandise stuff. That I think they did a Moe's Tavern set of those kid robot things, and that's why they did a Sam and Larry and a Duff Man and everybody. But it's strange to think that a merchandising company thought of Sam as a figure that would sell money. Not sell money, make money. You don't want him to sell money. What a gambler. But the catch with those is you get a box that you don't get to choose what you buy. I did because I just bought it on eBay, but you don't get to choose. So you could basically buy a box, and then there's different levels of rarity, I think. So you might buy 10 and get 10 Sams in a row. You might get 0 Sams.
It's a risk we got to take. Clip 7 is Tapped Out. So again, Tapped Out, we've gone back and forth. It's a different universe. In fact, it's a whole multiverse out there, and we can only take it really to guide us. We can't take this as gospel.
Right.
Sam tapped out unlocked. Tapped out unlocked. Glug glug glug. Sam. Homer says, "I don't know who that one is." Really, come on, people. How do you do know who each other is? Why don't they know each other after 30 years or whatever it is in Simpsons time? And then his tasks are take a drink at Moe's, grab a quick one, drink colourful booze, catch the fame buzz. I think I made that one up. Nurse a hangover. He drinks. Is that all we know about Sam? And then he goes on and yes, he talks to Larry about some kind of new business plan, which I just took really was a jokey way of like, let's talk about our business plan, which just meant go and have some drinks. But no, it does suggest that maybe we pocket some of the cash and use that to pay back previous investors. So no, I think he does have something going on here in the Tapped Out universe. But what is it, Beef?
Well, yeah, it sounds iffy, doesn't it? Pocketing cash. I took it to mean some sort of pyramid scheme, which, as we've established, is within the realms of believability because he has got a bit of cash to fling around. So yeah, although I'm not overly familiar with Tapped Out, but again, they've not done anything here that would lead me to sort of think this isn't consistent with what I know of Sam. I think it's it's perfectly acceptable.
It's a deft peeling back of something. I don't think he's in business with Larry though, but you never know. It's an interesting thing if they were off hustling in the back rooms trying to put some cash together. But I think Sam, for all we know, he's the brains of that operation.
This is one of the softer reboots in terms of Tapped Out stories, though. It's not, like you just said, it's believable, whereas some of them, we've looked at a few before, and like Kashmir's story was about her becoming like a neuroscientist or something like that. And like some of the stories for the characters that don't have a lot of in-show storylines, they sort of go a little bit wild with them. Like the Leopold one, I feel like there's a task where he's like really joyful and happy, and they've sort of obviously added that for some sort of duality within the Tapped Out universe, but they've kind of stuck to what they know with Sam, which is that he drinks. And you are right, he does the entire task. I cut out most of it because it's shite. But most of the task is them going to drink whilst discussing the business plan. And I think it does end up being a pyramid scheme.
Beautiful. If you can find out more about that, then that will help me to flesh out at least my understanding of Sam.
Yeah, I think I cut out anything that wasn't useful, except, if more people that weren't Sam were talking. But I feel like it very quickly goes from that last bit of them speaking about the investors to them basically saying, is this a pyramid scheme? Oh, I think it is. Shall we just go to Moe's? Something like that. There's a very sort of like, there's no big ending with any sort of
doesn't get the arc
arc.
he deserves. Just all kind of washes out.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the slim pickings that is Sam art?
Yes, unless do you have anything to add for the Tapped Out world, Beef?
No, but it's piqued my curiosity, right? So this is a computer game where you walk around and you have to carry out little tasks on a map, like go to the pub and have a drink and stuff.
Yeah, so it's sort of it's in the same vein as like SimCity.
Oh right, yeah.
But it's an app, but it's about 10 years old now. I think it's like you can have like a 10-year-old town at this point.
So I can get it on my phone.
Yeah, and you just sort of build a Springfield, but it's one of those where you build Dr. Hibbert's house, wait for 8 hours, etc. Wow. But yeah, it's got to the point where
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'll look into that this afternoon. Then yeah, that's something to do.
Because it's so old now in terms of game age. They're really bottom of the barrel in terms of characters. Like they must have brought Sam and Larry into it about 3 or 4 years ago. So and they have to sort of give everybody something to do that is relevant to that character. So it's a good expansion of characters if you believe it's it's written by the writers of The Simpsons, but writers of the recent Simpsons. So.
Have you Nathan? Have you experienced anything similar to say in Harley Quinn, the character, was originally came from the Batman animated series and then became famous in the comics. Have you seen anything like that go from Tapped Out back into the Simpsons world?
No.
It's a one-way street.
There's been a couple of things. They did do a thing where they introduced a like Tapped Out only character, and it was like Dr. Hibbert's nephew or something. And I think then brought him into an episode, but it wasn't like he was just in it. Like there was no like story. But they sort of say if there was a new episode this week, they might put like a building or a character or something related to that episode in. So that's when you get some good ones, like some of the good obscure ones. But I think Sam and Larry came basically every named Simpsons character at this point is available to you.
All right, so here's a piece of artwork which I just got. It says it was something on Reddit. Alternative Art of Moz Tavern. I couldn't see who wrote it, but this is Lasser on the thing. But yeah, I think we've got here. I guess it's Lenny and Carl Barney. Maybe is that Homer? And then I just wondered, is that our man Sam drinking there at the back over there? What do you think, Beef?
Yeah, well, it has to be. I mean, the cap and the specs are a giveaway. He's got layers of clothing on. I mean, interestingly, oh no, that's Homer's hand there, pointing. Yeah.
Is
he's
it
down
Homer,
there
or do you think it might be Larry? Probably Homer.
That's Homer.
No, that's Homer. Yeah. So it's Sam. I mean, if you look at, got quite a chiseled jawline there, and he looks slightly more intimidating than he does in the cartoon. I'm not sure they've captured the essence of Sam with that artwork.
He looks younger there as well. He looks
yeah. He looks like
there.
a bit more of a chunky, bit more of a beefcake, which isn't that's not Sam for me. So it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's technically wonderful, but it just goes awry when you dig a little deeper. Yeah,
I think so.
I do like that he's alone.
He's alone, and Larry's not there.
But he is a no man. Is he? He is a man alone. That is Sam. So I'll give him that one. Yeah,
and this is a great Mo. I think Mo there is nailed of the whole bunch. But yeah, it's fun. They started doing those things now that AI, that chatbot's cousin AI, can make pictures, right? So you go on YouTube and it'll be like The Simpsons, but is it an 80s real life comedy show, or The Simpsons by Wes Anderson? Everything's by Wes Anderson on that that chatbot, right?
Kept it up.
All right. So we like that one. We like that picture, but we don't feel technically we like it, but we don't feel it represents the spirit of Sam. I do like he's got some pickled eggs on the bar there. That's not something you see every day.
You ever tried a pickled egg?
Long time ago, yeah. But I imagine, and now when I look at them, I think, oh, that'd be delicious. But they're not, are they? Vinegar eggs, eggs injected with vinegar.
Yeah.
They look and smell appalling.
Yeah.
I imagine like there's been a lot of bar chokings on those eggs as well, because I imagine after you've had a few drinks, they look really appealing. But if you throw overly relaxed throat, I imagine if someone doesn't catch you, we've lost another one. We've lost another one to the eggs. What about this?
There's a brief clip with Sam involved actually, where they all pick out an egg, don't they? To pick a designated driver for the night, and whoever gets like the black pickled egg is the designated driver. And it's not Sam.
Not Sam. Is it Homer?
It's Barney.
Oh, so here we have one of these deviant art, kind of like by Smurfy Smurf 1 2 3 4 5. What do you make of this kind of thing? Because these there's like
that's not Larry. What is that about?
That's Sam and Larry. That's
no. That's Sam. That's
yes.
like the kid from. He's like the kid from Breaking Bad or something. He's got like a bomber jacket on and.
Sam and Eleven from Stranger Things.
They've younged him up a little bit, but I think it's still. I'm defending Smurfy here because I think they're working within the constraints of the genre. I don't think they had a comb over option.
He wears like an orange jumper.
Yeah,
no,
he wears a shapeless jumper. Yeah.
He does the red jacket. Larry does the red jacket. I've seen it.
I've seen this program before.
Here we go. Not even the right Larry. There you go.
That's orange.
You know what?
Come on.
Go back to the original. Yeah, actually, I'd forgot about the jacket. Yeah.
No.
No,
the head's all wrong. He's got hair. Look, he's got hair.
This picture, he's well off, isn't he? I think Larry he's worth a dig into because he's the saddie. So the thing is that it seems like Sam's got out of this relatively unscathed. He seems like he has the odd bad day, but he does look like although look at this, it's classic literature. Is that real?
That'll be a tapped out thing. It'll be one of the, like I just said, like throwing in a character trait that doesn't exist. Which Sam safe of.
He's a professional. If The Simpsons were ever to end, Larry and Sam should have a spin-off, a prominent role in the final episode.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
could
agree.
see that.
I don't think I agree with that. Anyway, so we have that. But what? Go on. Let's concentrate just for a minute and give Smurfy Smurf. You know, this is an artist working at the height of their game, and they've managed to capture every element of Sam.
Yeah, it is a good Sam. It's a very good Sam. But Sam is more defined. Like there are more things to define Sam, like the hat and the glasses.
But from this point on, whenever I see a hat and glasses, I won't be able to shake the thought of Sam sitting in his hospital bed nursing a ruptured spleen. And then the last one, I have the 15,000 Japanese yen. So that's it's not as much as you think, to be honest. It's about 120 quid. Steep though.
That is a lot of money.
120 quid.
I think I got it for about £4.
Well, it's rare in Japan, isn't it? So
that's true.
Batteries required? No. Minimum age 180 months. It's quite old. But
no assembly required.
What do you make of this kid robot style thing, Beef?
I like the likeness on this one. He looks his age. You know what I mean? Hard to capture really in plastic. But yeah, I mean, I'd say this figure, facially, he looks like mid-50s, late 50s. He's got the classic hat. He's got some sort of. He likes layers, doesn't he?
Layers
you don't
and
get that with
rolled up.
Yeah, layered clothing. I don't know what that says about him, but I like it. Yeah, no, beautiful. They've done a good job. Is there? I'd be interested. Is there a Larry, a kid robot Larry?
There is a Larry, and it's also very good.
Oh, right. Because obviously we saw Panda Shaky struggle to capture. Oh, was that his name?
Yeah. No, the Larry is. These kid robot ones are great though.
That's a good
attention
Larry.
to detail is pretty cool. He does have the hair is hard to capture with that. It's similar to Ralph when they do a Ralph figure. Like the hair is just strands, so it's difficult to. I was saying before they've done like a kid. One of the selections was like a Moe's Tavern like grouping of figures, so that's the only reason Sam and Larry made it. I think you can get Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo as well.
It's the most ridiculous name I've ever heard.
Exactly, but still no more.
That's great. Those are. I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they? Who's this guy with the eye patch?
That is Moe when he had a facelift.
Our facelift, handsome Moe, right?
And the love test.
And there is
great.
Jojo Jr. Shabadoo.
Come back, Joey. I still love you.
That's it. That's all the murder she wrote about Sam.
Yes. I would like to pose Beef one question before we go. How do you think a meeting between Sam and Leopold would go down?
Oh, I don't think Leopold would. I was going to say hold any truck. Is that a phrase?
Yeah,
he wouldn't hold any truck with Sam. Yeah, because he's a military man. He's an academic. He likes to lay down the law. Whereas Sam's from a different walk of life. He's a nomad. He boozes. He frequents brothels. He's all over the place. He'll think nothing of going on an all-day bender. And politically, we didn't really touch on that. Leopold, obviously a Republican, one would wager. I mean, does Sam even hold a political view?
I would say if pushed, I would go Republican, but it's more likely that he's like an unenthused voter. So it's possible. But yeah, I agree that it wouldn't be they wouldn't be best friends. But I think Leopold is slightly easier on adults than children, so he probably wouldn't go in all guns blazing. But they would not be friends. No circles for them to swim in socially together, really.
And I agree. I think on that bombshell, we should finish up. Thanks a lot, Beef, for coming by for your third episode.
Great stuff.
What an honour.
Trilogy. Yeah. I would be happy for you to come back in the next round or two if you've got more characters that you want to dig into.
I'll have a think. Thanks for having me back. I've really learned something today. It's enriched my appreciation of an already dearly held character.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but before we go, it looks like Darren Spider's back. Darren, what is it you want to say?
I am a small and fragile thing in a wasteland desolate and grey. A vampire king is on my trail, with fangs sharp and eyes red. He will feast on my spider blood until I am dead. My 8 legs shake with every step, but in this land of sand and dust, the vampire king is on his way. I am just a spider, who may or may not have stabbed Jesus' spider in his side, and a mid-time displaced. My 8 legs no longer carry me. My spirit has flown away. Zanak is on his way.
Oh,
Exactly.
What about that? Darren, you've never spoken so much, but I can see that you're reach feared now, but nothing to fear. I think we'll be all right. But that's it. That's the end. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks. The circle is not intact.
See you, Beef. Have a good pub lunch or a shower.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys. 1:30.
The owls.
Beef, chicken. I don't know. Yeah, but I'll let you know where it goes. Yeah.
Very, very good. All right.
Look out for some Sams at the
Bye.
bar.